Gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. You know, I almost intentionally don't repeat some of the things that I normally say so that I don't have sayings. Welcome to the video about the guitar that really needs very little, if any, work. It needs just a smidgy of a setup, and that's really it. And I think pretty well all I'm going to do is lower the action just a tiny bit on this guitar, and it's going to be pretty well it. All it needs. So let's have a look at it, because it's a cool guitar, so it's definitely worth making a video about. It's been here for a few days, so we're just going to be some pissed off that it's been sitting around here, but here we are, several days later. And I have been playing it, as evidenced by the strap that's hanging off of it. Now, this guitar is cool for a few reasons. It's cool because I've never seen a 3-pickup, like, Gibson style guitar like this. So personally, I didn't really know how these things work, so of course, presumably, a lot of you in the audience, in the virtual audience, are going to know exactly how these things work, and it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool how they're using the 3-way switch to their advantage. The way this works is really neat. You've got 3 volumes, all right, so bridge pickup, middle pickup, neck pickup. In this position, you have these 2 pickups available to you. So you can dial in any amount of each of those pickups in that typically bridge position, which is really neat. And then in the middle, you have available to you all 3 pickups. So again, you can dial in any combination of those pickups using the volume control. You're just one master. And then of course up here, as you'd expect, your available options become these 2 pickups. So pretty neat in terms of how it works. And just gonna put this down here a little bitty. There we go. Here, we'll move right up on it. So the cool thing about this is that it to me didn't sound like I was expecting combinations of these humbucker pickups to make this guitar sound really like thick and muddy and kind of gross, but it doesn't at all sound like that. It's great. Now, the first thing I noticed when I looked at this guitar is that those don't look right. Those look like they've been swapped out, because if you see here, that's what you'd normally expect to see. I've never seen pickups with like pull piece screws that look like that. So these, I would assume, have been swapped out. So we want to know what those are. We want to drop just the action a smidgy on this guitar, and that's really it. Then we'll plug it in, and because this video, like I said at the beginning, at the outside, is more about my new ability to record sound properly. I've got a couple of SM57s upstairs and a Scarlett Focusrite, so we'll be able to plug this guitar in and get a good sound test of it. And I am curious about what those pickups are, but pretty neat guitar. It's got a kind of a thin neck, a bit thinner than I've gotten used to. It doesn't stay in tune very well, which is a bit of a shame. Now, normally with these guitars, if they don't stay in tune, like if it won't stay in tune, and it's not just, you know, the D and G that won't stay in tune, the guitar just won't stay in tune. Normally, you can combat that by, like, if you're not going to change these tuners out, you can tighten up the bushing that holds the tuner tight on the headstock, because that's usually the culprit. That's usually one of the, what I have found in my experience, is the leading sort of causes of why these tuners won't stay in tune, because they get loose. Now with these, sadly, these are the press-in bushing type. So I don't think there's a lot that I can do aside from, you know, tightening up the screws on the back of the headstock. So that'll be that'll be something we'll have a quick peek at. Just tighten those up a little bit, a little smidgy. And then personally, if it were me, I would probably bring this up to 11s and rep. The other thing I think that's fighting this guitar too is that there's not much string wound around the posts. Come on, focus. Focus, you fack. Come on. Come on, be the one that focuses. See? So whoever strung this up last didn't put much string around the post. So I think that combination of those things might be fighting it. The nut doesn't seem to be what would be causing us any problem here. The nut slots are pretty deep, or not deep, they're pretty wide, so I don't see any reason for the strings to be getting caught up in there. I can tell that's a plastic nut. So other than that, I think we're gonna just tighten up the setup a little bit and do a little bit of discovery work and see what's what. All right, so I've already said that the action feels, like when you're playing it, it feels pretty high, but I haven't actually measured it. Let's just see what's making it feel that way. Oh my gosh. It is exactly 5/64 there. Now why does it feel so high here? Oh, that's why. That's why it feels so terrible. Because this side is 6/64. Oh no, 5, just over 5. So these the string heights have, oh my gosh, so this side is way up. That's why it feels so terrible to play. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, no, it's almost at 6. It's at 6/64 on this side. Oh, no wonder it feels so terrible to play. Okay, so that's an easy fix. So, again, like you've seen probably in a million videos, cape it at the first fret. And there's a few ways to check, the neck relief. I used to pinch last fret. I've started since pinching 17th fret and looking for certain measurements, because that's just that's what I've read in certain places from the manufacturer themselves, in the case of Gibson. And I found it to be pretty reliable. It's really half a dozen of one, 6 of the other. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And then under the 9th fret then. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to look for, I'll start with 10. It's way more than 10. Oh yeah. Jesus. The neck has some curve in it. Even if I pinch this low, it's worse here. Yeah, the neck's way too bent. No wonder it feels like a pile of dog ass to play. I wonder if these frets are not good. Might not be so simple after all. Alright, so let's just put this truss rod cover off. Okay, now it's time to find out what the hell size that is. Alright then, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Found the one. If I can just first tighten up this truss rod so that it straightens out the neck a little bit. Way too much. Alright, truss rod spins freely, so that's a good sign. It's coming down. Smidgy more. Come on, get in there, you. Alright, they're kissing now. Let's just lower the action and see what happens. Because you know what I've seen sometimes too, is I've seen guitars where you can tell that somebody has tried to set them up. Like because certain measurements line up. Yeah, that's way too high too. But then you discover that they've done it to hide something. Like the 339 that we had, which was it? What was it? A 339? I don't know. Some Gibson we had here through here that had a totally dodgy nut. Okay. Yeah, that was, let's see what we got here. Where are we at, Cool Cap? No, still way too high. 464, that needs to come down. A crumpety load. It needs to come down a crumpety load. All right, that's good. That's 3/64 there. It was already 5/64 here. Now let's tune it and see if it still plays like ass. Ah, feels way better. There, that was all it needed. You see it? That post is kicking itself out. That's not good. Totally coming unseated. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But it's unseating itself. That's no bueno. Yeah, because this I started to notice this was way too high. So I was going to start lowering it, and then I noticed that it's kind of kicked itself out of the hole there. Weird. Okay, let's get it apart and discover what else it's... Let's go discover what else it's hiding. Well, so far, it's reacted to a setup. I've come into these things... I've come into these repairs that are supposed to be simple a little bit more jaded. Every time it's supposed to be simple, it turns into a nightmare. Turns into tag, you're the last one to have touched it. So now you gotta be the one to fix it, or the jerk that left it screwed up and tried to put a bullshit setup on it to hide it and pass it off to somebody else. I've seen that happen lots of times. It's fair to assume that the person who did this didn't really know what they were doing, but that's okay, because maybe they're just learning. Gosh. Really weren't giving this guitar a chance, putting so little string around the post. All right, well, let's go ahead and take this off. Let's see what we're dealing with. Will it just come if I pull on it? I wonder. How stuck in it? Nah, it's pretty stuck in there. Okay, so it's not gonna come out with me just reefing on it. It's not super loose or anything. So what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to see if I can drive it home again here with a few love taps and hopefully call her done. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Easy peasy. Everything else seems okay. Alright, so we'll just drive that back in there, and let's have a look to see what kind of pickups these are. I don't know everything about every guitar. Oh, that's ugly. Oh, this is how you wire them into the guitar? Oh, that's awful. Now what the hell kind of pickups are these? No name? What is this no name bullshit? I'm gonna be honest, these don't sound great on their own. This looks like some... I don't know what the hell that is, but... I don't like that. God damn, that is dodgy as f***. But they work, so I'm not fixing that. But I don't like that. But whatever. They work. That's really disheartening to see. So that is just, to me, more confirmation that the person whoever did what they did to this guitar didn't really know what they were doing. I mean, 3 cheers for sort of getting it to work, but yeah, these don't sound good on their own. It was It was the first thing. It was the first thing I noticed when I plugged it in. I was like, these don't sound great on their own. They sound sort of wussy. Well, you'll tell. You'll be able to tell. I'll plug it in. Here's my suspicion. These are really thin. Like the inside, it's thin. So this is like some cheap no-name garbage that came out of I don't know where. And probably the original 2 pickups were used elsewhere. And whoever put this together didn't really know what they were doing. Alrighty then. I guess I'll clean these frets up a little smidgy. Alright. Cleaned, oiled. Lots of tape needlessly wasted. I'm going to attempt to hopefully just snug these tuners up a little bit. All right, so while I was filming the back of my arm there, each of these have taken a little snug up. So I'm going to assume that that's good. Gonna jam a little bit of grease in the hole. Work the grease through them. I'm also gonna go ahead and pull this string lube. Dump a bunch into the nut here as well. See you upstairs for the sound test. All right, well, I hope you can hear me. Because after some technical difficulties, and assuming that my new Rode lavalier mic would work in my MacBook Pro, because it's got the right connection. Yes, my hair is crazy. I need to cut it. Won't recognize. The friggin' MacBook Pro won't recognize. It's so annoying. Okay. So it's my sincere intention to give you an idea of what this guitar sounds like. Now, I have to admit, with the pickups in like just everything full blast all the way up. So I'm just gonna run it clean. Okay, and then if I just run this pickup on its own. So then all three. That's the really woolly sound that I think I expected from this thing. But I expect that if you pull a little bit of the neck pickup out, yeah, you get a bit more snappy tone like you do when you mix 2 humbuckers. Yeah, you sort of start to get that snappy sound around 7 or 8 on the neck pickup in the middle configuration. Running everything else wide open. And then so in the neck. Alright, so let's just try neck on its own. So that's the net. You can achieve the middle pickup on its own in 3 different positions, in 3 different places, because the middle pickup is always on. This pickup is always on. So you can So just by controlling it with the volume controls, but that one's basically... The first thing I thought of when I saw this guitar was black keys. Yes, yes, rock and roll. Okay, I quit. All right. That is Los Epiphones SGos with 3 pickups. And yes, the third pickup, the middle pickup, gets in the way of picking. Kind of sucks. It's really cool looking, but a bit impractical of a guitar. But it's cool. I wouldn't make it my only guitar.